Hi friends, Rocky Outcrop here, checking out QUANT QNT. It was recently listed on Coinbase. It's been there for a wee while. That's been great, and we saw the prices of QUANT break out of a range that was in for quite a while and then move up into a new paradigm. Or has it actually just been manipulated up there for the listing on Coinbase and then distributed back out onto people afterwards in terms of positivity? Well, it's kind of hard to say. We can see a couple of little clues about that on the chart, but I've got a few key areas to look to. We do have a target that's still higher up. It is still worth aiming for it. We'll keep a keen eye on what areas we'll be managing our risk at on this one. I'm not a financial advisor, none of this is financial advice, by the way. And then and we'll have a good idea about what would make for a good trade on this one, and indeed how to manage any trades perhaps that you're already in. Let's fire on with that. I'll roll the intro clips and we'll dive on into the charts. Oh, by the way, if you hit like, massively appreciated. It helps a lot. Says crypto technical analysis up there on the screen, but I actually spend quite a lot of time looking at everything else as well, stocks and shares, commodities, and forex too. And the main thing that I'm doing on the channel over the last wee while and until the indefinite future is AMC and GME technical analysis during market opens in America, still producing the same sort of crypto content, just mixed in amongst other stuff. Great. Quant coin here, looking on the chart. This is the 4-hour time frame. Just hide off that, don't need it, get more real estate back, and show you how things have gone since this thing was really kicking about on KuCoin over here. And over the period of February 2021 right up until May, we were really range bound here. Now we did have an overall high down to an overall low. That high that we had there initially when the thing launched was up at $70, all the way down here to the lows in around about 23 bucks, or at least certainly its KuCoin listing over here. I don't actually know when it launched. So then what happened then between those phases in terms of the prices moving? Well, if I just kind of measure in whether you're taking it from the all-time high down to the most recent low, or the all-time low, or you're taking it from here, you can see that we pushed up past the previous area into this new paradigm that I'm talking about, and then retraced subsequently back down to key areas. But looking at it from the perspective of the all-time high, because it's a bit more revealing, down to the low over here, up to where we are now, we can see that it lines up quite well with the 1.272 Fibonacci retracement point here in terms of our highs. Now, could we be aiming on up higher towards $140? Well, we could. Prices below $100 at the minute, and that $100 area, both a psychological round number and of course quite clearly a pivot point in terms of the Fibonacci structure in the market so far. So how can we know that we're possibly going on for that? Well, let's put in something as a bit of a qualifier for us in terms of staying above certain price points. We'll just do that real quick with the Fibonacci here and say that, so long as the prices are above $70, and 69 would be your low on that one. 69 recently was 69 is the best buy price here. If you get that, then great. Otherwise, just staying above this zone is very, very bullish. We had a V-shaped recovery here, which did take out the platform. It's continued towards the top side. Everything looking pretty good on that front in terms of all of that. But there is weakness here at the market too. Still a good chunk of weakness, right? So what I'm really drawing out at the minute is the idea that we need to see prices stay above 70. If we don't, then we could easily be dropping back down towards $40. Okay, that'd be a big chunk off, nearly 50% drop off at that point, so worth being aware of. We can see that there's a tightening structure of the RSI. We're just above the neutral line on it. That's really good to see as well. Not managing to take out our previous highs and not doing it on the DMI, doing it on the MACD but not doing it elsewhere while we're putting in higher highs on price action gives us a little insight into the potential weakness that there could be in this area. And we know, of course, fundamentally this thing has changed in terms of its listing on Coinbase and the attention that was given. It's not fundamentals, it's just event psychology. But if we were to be looking here in terms of the recent lows and the highs, it could be forming a wedge, etc. And the measured move off the back of this thing will take you down towards our lower down targets there, here, like such as the 50% retrace area, etc. If you were to go down that way. So what we need to do is just kind of stay aware of things. So I'll take a look at the even lower time frames in a second here. But this is something which has been strong, could well continue to be strong. I anticipate it continue to be strong, but I'm very much aware of the warnings here, and I didn't want to buy into any sort of momentum on this thing until we're above $100. Bearing in mind that we're at 87 at the minute, $100 represents the profit taken area, or actually just shy of it, probably more like 96, 95, 94 in terms of any movement towards the top side until such things are cleared out. I'd also be very aware, if I was trading this, to be looking down the way and saying, if we take out these previous lows in here at $75, then of course we could be suffering. So this is really in a lot of ways this is a big money market at the minute, and the true range on these are so high. Look at the candles in the recent past and acknowledge that each one of these, you know, like a couple of these together, 4-hour time frame, so in the space of 8 hours it moves 20% back down 20%. It's stop hunt territory, a lot of liquidation going on here, and you can see that in terms of the highs and the wicks there and the push down the way and the overall kind of construction in a larger time frame, that this is something which is like in a market where people are being pushed around an awful lot in terms of wicks, and you'd have to accommodate that in your own trading if you were to take a look at that. If you were looking at it that way, higher high here, higher lows along the way. That's looking good. So looking good in terms of the 50-minute time frame. Although typically with these pullbacks here at the 40 point, yeah, no, I do honestly still expect a bit of a pullback. We've had a bit of one at the minute. I just would watch out for one. I think there's better discounted prices to be getting in on this one if you're aiming up or down the way, to be honest with you. Either way, managing your risk in terms of just looking at this most recent range, really the lows in around about 69, the highs in around about 100. At the minute, you know, we're above the midpoint of it, but to say that it couldn't just drop down the way would be foolish, and that'll be represented probably quite clearly as well overall with the Bollinger Bands here in the 1 hour and the 50-minute time frame, you know, not so clearly. 4-hour time frame showing us, you know, it could easily range between either of these zones. A short-term risk management number, yeah, 83 if you think it's going up from here. Broader term strategy though, still looking up towards 140, taking out 70, then I'm looking down to $40. If you're looking for either the bigger move trades, the next sort of 30, 40, 50% trades beyond the 20% range that we're getting on a daily basis. Thank you so much for tuning in, by the way. Actually, yeah, I still do. This is filmed during a live episode, so tune into the live. Make sure you do that sometime because it's live, interactive, educational, that good stuff. And actually, I do focus on these days AMC and GME stocks and other stocks as I broaden out the whole audience here. So, like, you know, welcome all of our new family with open arms. Come and join us for a live stream sometime. It's all been good, and I'll play the outro in a second. Right. Thank you, and I'll just I'll say cheerio. Actually, no, I'll play the outro clips again. Actually, here for a second.